Hi everyone, it's Christina, and this is the last video on this YouTube channel. I wanted to take some time to explain why I'm leaving this YouTube channel and also share with you what I have learned running a K-pop, mostly K-pop reaction channel for a year. So whether you are an aspiring creator, a fellow reactor, or just super curious behind the scenes, I think this might be also interesting for you. This will be a longer video, so I'll leave some chapters below so you can click around if you need to. First, for some background. End of 2023, I learned that I was autistic. And this really changed a lot for me. It really made me realize that the career and lifestyle that I'm having just does not match my energy and my capacity that I really have. And I really needed to rethink my whole life. And I know that sounds really intense, but that was the case, and that still is the case until today. At the time, I was a project manager in IT. I was working from home, earning a lot of money, and on paper it sounds great, but I was just so unhappy and exhausted, stressed and burned out. And combined with so many chronic health struggles that I'm also facing, I just really needed a change. So at the end of 2024, I finally quit my job and probably the whole IT career and tried to start from scratch. As a 30, how old was I back then? As a 31-year-old person. So I really needed to figure out what do I want to do with my life and what can I do, what I'm able to do. So that's what brings us to a YouTube channel. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. I actually created my first YouTube channel in 2021 when with my job kind of provided a bit more free time and energy. I wanted to make content about fashion and sewing and sustainability, but then that didn't materialize and I didn't manage to make any videos for that channel, but it's still out there. But when I quit my job at the end of 2024, I wanted to try again. I had some savings, I would get some unemployment benefits from the government, and my partner earns enough for us to cover our basic expenses, at least for like a short term. So I thought, why not try it now? Let's finally give it a proper go. And I understand that I have a lot of privilege being able to take this time to figure my shit out, right? Not everyone is able to do that, and I'm super grateful that I really can. So yeah, just wanted to acknowledge that. Still, I wanted to be really smart about trying to be a creator. As I mentioned, what I really wanted to do on YouTube was sewing and fashion and maybe vlogging and stuff like that. But for that, you need a proper camera and a nice light and maybe a lapel mic. And it felt rather silly to spend all of that money without knowing if I actually want to be a YouTuber. Will I enjoy it? Will I be able to post a video? That takes a lot of guts to post the first one. Will I enjoy editing videos? Can I learn how to do it? Will people vibe with my personality in any way? So I needed to think about something else. How can I test all of this without spending a lot of money? And then it struck me, making K-pop reaction content. For making reaction content, you need a webcam and you need an okay mic. And you're basically good to go. You install OBS, which is free, and you'll learn to do some simple edits, right? Because K-pop or music reaction content isn't the most complex content on YouTube that you can create. My partner already had a webcam, which I could use. My sister had a microphone, which I could borrow. So that was all good to go, right? And I want to clarify that I'm coming at this as a person who has been listening to K-pop since 2017, and I've been enjoying K-pop reactions for just as long. I get so surprised when I get recommended to rewatch a reaction video that was made like 8 years ago. So yeah, I've really been enjoying watching reaction content for so many years. I do not have anyone in my life kind of in person who listens to K-pop. So having this online community of people getting excited about something, that's just so fun. So I wanted to provide something like that so I wanted to try providing the community this time by making the reaction videos. Also, one big advantage of making reaction content is that people are actively searching for it, right? When something is super popular, or you just get excited about the new song, you're searching, oh, Chungha, I'm ready, reaction. And you binge watch all of it, and you get excited with every single person experiencing it for the first time. Or like Heated Rivalry is super popular right now. So you would search Heated Rivalry reactions, right? Because again, you want to experience that excitement with another person. So it already gives you better discoverability as a content creator compared to doing, I don't know, like let's declutter my closet today sort of content, right? So overall, it just seemed like a great fit for something I would be able to try, right? And I do not want to pretend like this was just like a hobby for me. I was hoping that this could be like an actual job for me, at least for a while, at least having like a part-time income from this in 6 to 12 months. And for your context, I live in Slovakia, so the minimum wage here is 816 euros. So I don't know, in my mind, oh, if I earn like 400 euros a month in a year, that would be so cool. But that was just so unrealistic and naive and stupid of me. So let's get into it. I'm a person who thinks they know quite a lot about YouTube. I really love when creators talk about behind the scenes and how they do things and their experiences. When I was starting the YouTube channel, I did so much research trying to figure out how to make reaction content, what software to use, how to dispute copyright claims, because I have known this is an issue that happens. I have known that many reaction channels have their Patreons, but I always just assume this is for some extra income, not really their main source of income, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. What I didn't find anywhere online is how intense this copyright issue really is. When I first managed to monetize my channel, which was in July last year, I was so shocked to find that basically all of my videos were in red, demonetized, copyright claimed. I filed all the disputes, and at the end, 87% of my content is not monetized. So to this day, I have made 180 videos, 24 out of them are monetized. And if you do not know, making reaction content is legal. So making commentary or analysis of existing content is legal unless you pretend it's your content or something like that. But the automated YouTube system just matches tiny audio snippets and tiny visual snippets and just automatically gives you a copyright claim. You can dispute that, but there are no consequences for the company who claimed your content, like the label who is, producing or distributing the music. They get no consequences if they claim your content unfairly, right? Even though if it's legal for you, they can claim it. They get no consequences for claiming it. There is not much you can really do. So, if you're a creator and you know that I'm doing something wrong, please tell me. But pausing doesn't work. I have a video where I do not play any songs. I just talk about my release editions, and I played a 3-second snippet just to illustrate a point. Whole video claimed. So I'm just, started to accept that this is the situation. And I also wanted to say that I feel like it's getting worse. Lately, none of my disputes are going through. Let me actually share what I have earned on YouTube since monetizing my channel. So that's been 8 months. And I have earned 15 euros and 33 cents for the 8 months. So that's the 24 videos that are monetized, with mostly 4 or 5 of them contributing mostly to this. None of my popular videos are monetized. Just letting you know. So once I learned that YouTube will not be a source of income as a reaction channel in any sort of way, I started a Patreon, and now I understood why everyone has a Patreon, right? And I'm super thankful for the support I've had on Patreon. We've been fun creating more casual content on there. And for the 8 months I've been on Patreon, I have earned 73 euros and 10 cents. So that's better, but still near nowhere like an actual income. If you put the Patreon money and the YouTube money together, we are looking at 11 euros a month without thinking about taxes and stuff you have to pay on this income. And I do not want this to sound like boo-hoo me. I mean, this copyright issue is a real issue across YouTube and many people are talking about it. But I'm just trying to explain how unrealistic my expectations were of how much money content creators are making when in the reaction space. And I have a tiny channel, so I mean, I will add some screenshots for you to get the scale of my channel. And despite all of my efforts this year, this is where I managed to take it, because I treated this like a full-time job. I know I've been mentioning like a part-time income, but I've been working on this 12-hour days, 6 days a week, most of the time. As mentioned before, I had this time set aside to give it a proper shot, so I really wanted to do as much as I could, right, to make this dream come true. But in the end, I just couldn't make that happen. I could see some things that have worked against me. For example, I have been a K-pop stan for years, so I couldn't do these huge hyped reactions of first time reacting to K-pop, first time reacting to BTS or Blackpink or Stray Kids, right? That just wasn't something I could do because I know all of these things already. I also know that my personality is rather calm and reserved, so of course that doesn't make for the most exciting reactions. I am just a normal person. I do not know that much about music, so I could not provide any sort of education for you. And I also felt like the amount of videos I was making wasn't enough for the YouTube algorithm. I was making 7 to 8 videos a week, some for Patreon, some for YouTube, and having no other job, right? This was my only job. This is what I managed to produce. And I get so baffled when I see some creators who have proper jobs being able to make like 3 videos a day. How they do that, I do not know. I wasn't able to. So this concludes the monetization part. Let's talk about enjoyment. Was this even fun for me to do? And mostly, yeah. In my IT management job, I was in like 9 Zoom calls a day, and my day was just super stressful, very unfocused. A thing here, a thing there, just so chaotic. But making YouTube videos, editing, creating thumbnails, I didn't have to talk to anyone. I could just sit in my room and edit for 12 hours straight. Amazing. Making thumbnails and editing videos was super fun for me. Creatively, I'm a very creative person, and that really makes my brain super happy. Plus, being able to start and finish 7 to 8 projects in a week is just so satisfying for the brain. Compared to a huge IT project where 50 people contribute and you work a year on that project, you do not feel a sense of pride, right, or contribution when that project comes to an end eventually. But making YouTube videos was just so satisfying. It was really easy to work for that long, and that's just so fun. For recording videos, that was a bit more effort. I needed to clean my room and get ready and set up the camera and microphone and all of that. So I decided it makes sense to record only once a week, because I cannot imagine setting all of this up every day. So I only recorded once a week and ended up filming for 8-9 hours, which was kind of exhausting, comparable to having 9 Zoom calls in a day. Sort of energy drain, but it was totally manageable. The K-pop space, on the other hand, wasn't as fun. And now you maybe expect me to complain about crazy stans and death threats or whatever, but the community I encountered on my channel was overall super nice. Very rarely got a mean comment. And I don't want to discredit creators who have a much rougher time with their community. I'm a tiny channel, so it was all under control. But what I didn't enjoy about the K-pop space, and I reacted to other music, but K-pop was my main thing, is how much new content there is all the time. Every day. There are so many comebacks. and live performances and variety show and guides and killing voices and all sorts of things. And that's amazing as a viewer, as a consumer of the content, right? You have always so many things to watch, but as a reactor being able to film like 8 videos a week, narrowing it down, which is super stressful for me. There are groups that I love and want to support, and there are groups that you love and would like me to react to, and there is this huge backlog, right? Once I react to a group for the first time, then they have the 5 albums I need to check out and all the content and variety, and I do not want to complain, right? It's not like you were pressuring me to do all of that. It's mostly me pressuring myself and not wanting to mess up, and also seeing other content creators seemingly being able to react to everything in a timely manner. So that kind of also created that sort of pressure. And this is, sort of a situation I wanted to avoid working in an industry which just wants you to do more, faster, right? And the amount of stress or frustration is not anywhere near close to my previous IT job, where I was just so stressed, could not sleep, was constantly just so anxious. This is nowhere near that. Overall, my mental health was quite fine this year, but yeah, still a tiny con to the whole thing. Plus, the K-pop industry, I think, overall hasn't had a fun year or two, with tons of scandals and companies mismanaging their idols and whatever. Maybe just me getting older and being kind of less cynical, being more cynical about things. But I wasn't able to enjoy, many things kind of mindlessly as I maybe was able many years ago. So that put a tiny little damper on the community as well. So I mentioned some pros, I mentioned some cons, but why am I leaving now? Since monetizing my channel in July, I properly registered as a self-employed person right here in Slovakia, as you are legally supposed to do if you earn money from the internet. And in the beginning, I was paying about 100 euros a month for my health insurance, and no other contributions were necessary because I wasn't earning anything, right? And I also want to acknowledge that I live in a country with free healthcare, which of course is super nice, and paying 100 euros for my health insurance isn't that much in the grander scheme of things. But if you remember from my monetization section, I was earning 11 euros per month, not even talking about taxing this income, and also YouTube doesn't even pay you out unless you earn about a certain threshold, so I never received the YouTube payout. So I was operating this channel at a loss, but that was fine for me, starting any sort of business. That's usually how it goes, right? And in a certain time, you hope that your business starts earning on itself. But there was a big legislation change recently around self-employment here in Slovakia. And starting July, I would have to be paying around 400 euros a month for my health and social contributions, regardless of my income. So just being an entrepreneur, earning nothing, I'll still be needing to pay 400 euros a month. And this is not something I can afford right now. My savings are already dwindling, and with the current growth rate of my channel and Patreon, it just seems like too big of a gap to manage to cover in that short amount of time. So I decided to close my entrepreneurship and just look for a different job. I'll be also applying for disability benefits, so maybe that will help with some stability until I figure out my next career steps. But that's also a lengthy process, so let's see how that goes. Am I giving up on my YouTube dreams? Not completely. I will try to revive my 2021 channel, which will be demonetized, just a hobby, casual channel with fashion, sewing, sustainability, and some, lifestyle and commentary content. If you're interested, please subscribe. If not, I completely understand. There will be like one video a month maybe, and depending of much time and energy I have. But if you have seen my background, you know that there are some sewing projects going on all the time. So I somehow managed to find time and energy to do that because I really, really love doing it. This YouTube channel will be inactive, so no new posts here, but I will keep all the content up so you can enjoy it if you want to still. And for my Patreon, I will be providing content for the next 4 weeks. So if you have subscribed to the Patreon just recently, you will still get what you paid for. I'll also be finishing Island, so I do not leave you hanging there after the first 2 episodes. I'll be reducing the price from $2 to $1 a month to kind of reflect that there is no more content. I was debating, making it free, but that's just felt a bit disrespectful to the people who had been paying for the content for this time. And of course, I want to express my gratitude for the support over the last few months on the Patreon. Was super, super nice of you. And yet, just mentioning, once I stop my entrepreneurship, I will not be able to pay myself out that Patreon money. It will just stay there. Maybe indefinitely. Just wanted to be very transparent. So yeah, hope you understand. Hope that makes sense. I've been mostly serious and trying to be efficient in this video. But honestly, I'm super sad that this didn't work out. Even with the cons I mentioned, this was the most fun I've ever had in the job. So for the last time on this channel, I really want to thank you for the support, and hopefully we will see each other again someday. Bye!